for the long-term gain. And then you see people talking about, oh, certain amount of money was this amount of money was supposed to be given to this, and I began to wonder. I remember the former senator from Kaduna State, Senator Shehu Sani, when he talked about the fact that, oh, the least earning senator in Nigeria, apart from all of your community allowances, your extra codes, your domestic allowance, your health allowance, your traveling allowance, all of those allowances, that the least earning senator goes on with nothing less than 42 million every quarter. I kept asking. I've studied the parliamentary system in India, and they run a part-time system where you look at their lawmakers, and these are individuals that have other things that they are doing. You see a medical doctor, you see a PhD teacher, you see a university lecturer, you see all of them coming in at the normal time, just do their dealings within the legislative responsibilities, and they go back to what they do. But you look at how we get to do this in this country, and sometimes when people say, oh, all these people do is to go out and share money, there's little or nothing I could say about that. Well, I'm going to be speaking with Kunle Lawal today. I will touch on a couple of things. And by the way, we're streaming this program live on all our social media platforms. So you need to go on facebook.com/mainland 98.3 FM to follow us, like the page, and of course you see what we're going to be talking about on the show today. Don't forget to also follow us on X, formerly Twitter, and also on Instagram and YouTube on mainland 98.3 FM. Kunle Lawal is the executive director of Electoral College Nigeria. And why I decided to bring him on the show today, by the way, we had an explosive session with Comrade Steve Aluko yesterday. Comrade Steve Aluko is the executive director of the civil society organization / civil liberty organizations in Nigeria. He represented the CSOs at the last national conference in Abuja under the administration of former President Goodluck Jonathan in 2014. Yes. So I've always wondered, Nigerians are always so particular about an election year. There's electoral cycle coming through. Oh, every 2007, 2011, 2015, 2019, 23. What happens within those periods when we're not conducting general elections in this country? Of course, I know that we have off-cycle elections. Last year, November, specifically on the 11th of November last year, we had off-cycle elections in 3 states of Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa. And this year, by September 2024, we'll have off-cycle elections in Edo State, which the conversation is really hotting up. We'll also have off-cycle elections to the gubernatorial elections in Ondo State by November 2024. But beyond all of that, what do we do, or what should Nigerians be doing within the period where we're not electing our president for the next 4 years? Now, there's been talks about, the president is making his appointment, he's preparing for in fact, some of the members of the G5, remember the G5 in the last election, we had the new PDP also in 2015 that led to the formation of the All Progressive Congress now. That's the coming together of the ACN, of the CPC, a faction of PDP, a faction of ABGA, coming together. The same G5 script played out in the last election, where governors of Enugu and Abia, Benue, Oyo, and Rivers State, decided to work against the candidate of their party, the PDP, and for whatever reason, some stayed, or some worked for the Labour Party candidate. Some weekend, the current FCT minister worked for the APC. Well, Sheyi has his own political life in the balance. So he delivered the state for the APC, but kept the state in his pocket for the governorship election. All of those played out. And this G5 has come out, I think, in a function last month to endorse the second term bid that has not even been announced of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And these people are members of the opposition party, the PDP. Okay, we'll talk about the issue in the Nigerian Senate. It was an eyesore today. And in fact, for everyone that understands what legislative responsibilities are meant to be, what we saw on the floor of the House today, the unholy revelations that came out from those people that we've elected to legislate on our behalf, it leaves a lot to desire. Good evening, Kunle Lawal. Thank you for joining me on the show today.
Good evening, OPEYEMI. It's always a pleasure to be with you on
Okay. There's so much to talk about, and I'm just trying to, just I really don't know where to start from. First off, before we come into the issue of election in Nigeria, what fills the vacuum of every election calendar? Let's talk about the situation of things first. I remember, I think some few days into the year, you and I had a lengthy conversation across a lot of things. Talk about politics, talk about personal life and all of that. But one thing I've always observed, I followed what you do, watch a couple of stuff you do on TV, and of course, big shout out to what you guys are doing at the Electoral College. It's an institution that sells the conversation around a proper election and equipping our electoral process. Amazing guys, amazing stuff you guys are doing there. And big shout out to my friend, the vice chairman of Onibungo local government. I know she's also on board with you. And that should
Yeah, she's now even a board member of the Electoral College.
I saw that appointment in the news recently. Big shout out to you guys. Well, let's get straight up into it. Almost about 10 months ago now, it's going to be 10 months in a couple of days maybe. There was a social contract that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu signed with Nigerians on the 29th of May when he was sworn in to be the president of this country, at least for the next 4 years as at then. And within that period and now, there's been a lot of policies that have been anti-people, policies that have certainly made a lot of people question the kind of democracy we practice in this country. I won't say you should examine this administration, but what have been the lowest points so far for you? Let's start from here.
Okay. For me, the fact that people are even bothering about the social contract, the problem to me. I think we should be more concentrated on the constitutional contract which the president has. And in the constitution, he swears to, and so do other governors, they swear to protect the integrity and the sovereignty of the nation that is the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, if you're going to judge them on a social contract, you must first judge them on the constitutional contract, and that's the mistake with Nigeria's constitutional contract that promises that, someone in office makes. Now, this could change because of inflow of revenue to the country, which are totally not maybe totally in its control in the first one year. I'll be honest with that. In the state of past government or the way Nigeria works and trying to rejig the chain might not flow properly. So we're going to talk about, for me, the key things are security of individuals across Nigeria. And for me, that is a constitutional contract. And if a president fails the constitutional contract, it is rooms for impeachment if we have a working Senate. We all know we do not have a working Senate, but conversation continues. So anyway, the constitutional contract is most important. So do you feel safe in your home anywhere in Nigeria? Do you feel at peace anywhere in Nigeria? If that does not occur, then it means governors and the president have failed as chief security officers. This does not exclude local government chairmen who also are tasked by the constitution, are tasked to secure their local government. And if this is not done, then it means that our entire political system has failed constitutionally, but it failed socially.
Hello?
Hello, I'm here.
Okay. I'm really struggling to get good reception from. Maybe you could help me just change your location a little bit to see if you can sound better. Okay. Let's go on. I'm sure along the line we'd realign and get straight up into the conversation. Okay, so let's come into what we're supposed to do. I've always thought that for everybody that comes out to put themselves up to contest for offices, of course, I've heard politicians come out to say, "Oh, my people, came to meet me and they told me to come and contest, and my people did this, my people did that." But you understand the whole process, indicating interest, picking up nomination forms, all of the consultations, all of the meetings, the expenses, the primaries, the election proper, all of those. It's a long, lengthy process. And you would expect that for someone that taking time to go through that process, they will have an idea of what they want to do when they get into office. Last week, the whole conversation from the senator representing Bauchi Central Senatorial District, Senator Abdul Ningi, in respect to the padding of the budget. While I was talking to you this morning, I was watching a live session of the Nigerian Senate, and a lot of unholy revelations were made in respect to what happened here, what happened here. Let's talk about taking the conversation away from the national to the subnational. Are we asking the right question from our legislators, Mr. Kunle Lawal?
No, we are not. The first issue is that we're dealing with the symptom of the problem and not the cause. So herein lies the cause. In nowhere in the world do legislative officers or elected legislators have executive functions. I'll talk about the genesis of it in Nigeria. So sometime in preceding 2010, I think. 2010, 2009. No, sorry. 2008, 2007. Obasanjo wanted a third term. And I'm mixing the years up. I think Obasanjo left 2007.
Obasanjo left in 2007. So around 2006. 2005, 6 years.
Yes, 5, 6. He wanted to leave. So he granted constituency projects to senators to help them maybe push forward the third term agenda. This was thrown out by I remember the then Senate President Chuba Okadibo went into a massive row against Olusegun Obasanjo. Now we need to really understand that this thing was not put into the Constitution. It was an executive order which did not become law, so it was not passed by the National Assembly, it was not backed by the National Assembly, so it's not law, which means that constituency projects, whether at national level, at state level, or at local government level, are totally unconstitutional. This means that money is being robbed from the local government, which money is supposed to go to. This money is being robbed and passed into the legislature for them to handle. If Nigerians do not wake up to that problem, then whatever happens in the Senate today is just a symptom of an anomaly which we practice. There is nowhere in the 1999 Constitution which states anything about constituency projects. And it is shocking that the average Nigerian does not even know that. We don't look at our Constitution. Well, I believe that for your religion, you have your holy books, depending on whatever religion you practice. But as a citizen, your holy book is the Constitution. If you've never opened the Nigerian Constitution, I put it to you that you are not even a Nigerian citizen. Is that clear? Because if you do not understand the laws of your country, how can you even begin to argue what is and what isn't? And therein lies the problem. So with what happened in the Senate today, most people are talking about this one took 500 million, this one did not take 500 million. Senator Jaribe was saying some senior senators, this, that. That is irrelevant. The question is, do Nigerian people know what's right? And it goes so bad because the electorate, when people come to campaign, and I've campaigned as a senator, I've run in the FCT as a senator. When you go to campaign, and I remember I was campaigning with Bill. There was a place in Ulumi. I remember it's close to the train station in Idu in Abuja. I was thrown out of the King's Palace because I refused to say I could provide light, and that was electricity, and that was because I understood that I didn't have the constitutional authority to do that. Yes, we have constituency projects, but I was not planning to campaign on constituency projects because I knew they were an anomaly. Well, there's no reason I lost. But anyway, I didn't lose by far. I was 4 out of 24. But even the electorate demand road education from senators and co. Anytime you see this occur, trust me, it's an anomaly in the structure. So there's what exists on paper that are our laws, and then there's what we've grown to practice, which is the culture of democracy in Nigeria, and culture is defined as a way of life, which is temporarily what goes on in Nigeria.
Okay. The Senate has suspended the break-in. The senator representing Bauchi Central Senatorial District, Senator Abdul Ningi, for 3 months over allegations of 3.7 trillion padded into the 2024 budgets. Well, that's just so you know. I mean, I had to just prepare for the program. That's why I had to leave the session. It's been suspended for 3 months for the allegation. Well, let's put that on one side. I'm sure event of the next couple of days would further perhaps open up some of the things that we don't know, because a lot of those things were beginning to open up today, and then it was almost becoming impossible for the president of Nigerian Senate, distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio, to have a control of his colleagues. I mean, it looks like, when I was in primary school and they were preparing for literal debates, and they had the way all of us go around rowdy, shouting on each other, and you'd expect that people of the very hallowed chamber should behave more, maybe a bit more.
I mean, I don't know why you're surprised, and I have to button here. I don't know why you're surprised. I can clearly tell you that the Electoral College posted that at least 69% of the people in the National Assembly have not read the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and don't know it. So how are they going to amend laws or argue within laws or behave within character? That's the question but we keep them. So I don't know why we absolve ourselves from the kind of situation where we put ourselves in. That's the truth. I do not absolve the Nigerian people of the mess they are in. I don't absolve them. Political ignorance is not a virtue, and it's not an excuse. If you know what goes on in an actor's life, and you know the actor's side chick that is living with, then you should know the laws of your country. If you don't know that, then it's a big problem. If you can raise 240 million for WV to bring out a car in 24 hours, and you cannot raise a young president, or you cannot raise a Nigerian president who loves this country, then it means that Nigerians are clearly not ready. So let's not shift blame here. I'm not going to blame the people that are in the Senate. We put them there. Nobody, and I monitor the election. So when people want to come and start saying, that they didn't win here, this one was not good, forget that story. You voted them.
Okay, so let's get straight up into the crux of the conversation today. Okay, let me put it this way. You are within an organization that its sole responsibility is to fix the process at which our leaders emerge. I've seen the curriculum of the Electoral College, and I've seen how interesting some of them. And by the way, the Electoral College, you don't pay. Let me just chip in that one. I guess it's KUNLE and his team's way of wanting to give back and structure what we have here. But I've always asked people, if you just made mention of the fact that political ignorance is not an excuse. Now, people have always wondered that why is it that everybody becomes very active. I remember there was a time as a build up to the last election that we had, a by-election we had in Lagos for Surulere. The information officer of INEC was in the studio, and I asked him that why is it that people get to pick their PVCs more when we are building up to election. And then you look at the numbers that INEC gave us in the last build up to the last, almost 100 million people came out to pick their PVCs. About 10 million newly registered voters participated in the continuous voters registration. There were campaigns left and right, even the media. There was an extension to the deadline to pick up PVC. All of these kind of, gave expectations in respect to maybe there's going to be a large turnout in the election. Unfortunately, from 1999 till now, the last election had the lowest turnout in the history of this country. Less than 25% of people that registered actually came out to participate in the process. Now, I want you to take us through the journey. What happens between the season of one election and the next election? And I know that we'll have off-cycle elections. Last year we had 3. This year we're going to have 2 in Edo and Ondo. Next year we'll have 2. But let's talk about the general elections. What happens between the period where we voted in 2023, and then we'll go vote again in 2027? What happens within that period, KUNLE?
First and foremost, I will tell you that 2027 is decided 24 hours after 2023.
Sorry. There's I don't know. There's a noise somewhere around there. I don't know. Maybe you could help us work on that.
I'll try to move away from that. So I'll tell you that 2027 was decided in 2023, depending on how you voted. If you want to vote, if you want to change a country, you have to be able to move and plan across 2 cycles of elections. And that's the standard of how things should be in a country. But instead, we have a situation where we randomly expect going to a poll, and then things will happen. And for this, I would also not forgive CSO. And here's my compensation. I would not say every CSO, but 96% of CSOs keep telling people, go get your PVC, go do this, go do that. I don't blame them. None of them have been politicians before, because here's the crux of the matter. A democracy can only thrive if you're participating in the process. And the process is not election. That is the end of the process. The beginning of the process is participating in a primary. So the less Nigerians you have in a political party, the less of an election and the more of a selection. So you are provided 18, like in 2023, you are provided 18 political parties, you are provided 18 presidential candidates that you do not have a hand in how they emerge. Then you have to choose which poison you are going to drink. That is not a democracy. That is a little short of a communist society. But that's not because it isn't a democracy. That's because the people of Nigeria have chosen not to participate in party politics. If you don't participate in party politics, how do you want to select a good leader? I don't understand. And, the Electoral College clearly states this, that if you're not part of the process, you cannot determine the outcome of a product. And when you look at it, we spend so much time saying, and Nigerians are, I don't know whether we're hooked on this Messiah mentality. So we're always looking for one presidential candidate that seems to be like the people, even though he doesn't really have anything to say. If you look at the average Nigerian presidential candidate, I'll tell you key things that they lack. First and foremost, I'm yet to see a Nigerian candidate. I've seen candidates that represent different ethnic groups, but one that puts Nigeria first, I'm yet to see that. And this is no offense. I know people will say, no, this our own candidate loves Nigeria. Another person will say our candidate has 3 wives from different regions. There are 250 ethnic groups in Nigeria. Knock that off. Another person will say one has been everywhere, he has combed, he has structure. What is structure really in politics? I'll define structure in politics in Nigeria. Structure in politics means nothing than money. Because I don't know, I've been also a national publicity secretary of a political party, and I'm aware of what political parties do. And they try to put people boots on the ground everywhere. So it's not, that structure is not the problem. Have the money, the structure. So I define structure in politics in Nigeria as money. But going back to the question as we're breaking it down, like I said, we're never concerned about the process. I'll tell you, for the 2023 elections, we broke an anomaly in the Electoral Act. And the anomaly was this, and I can't remember what section of the Electoral Act, but you can Google it. The Electoral Act clearly states that no party shall conduct a primary or a convention except pending its submission of its register of members, total register or national register of members, electronically and in hard copy. 18 political parties broke this rule, which means that every convention and every primary that was held in Nigeria in 2023 are null and void. But the average Nigerian doesn't know that. So come on, let's talk about it. So if you break law 1, what stops you from breaking law 17? I can tell you that even people that have run for office have never opened the Electoral Act. It's that bad. So it's even the electorate that are going to open it. So if the electorate don't open it, how can they even argue what's right and what's wrong? If nobody has done that, it is out for, and then CSOs also don't know that. A lot of CSOs don't know that. I can tell you, it's not that they don't tell you go and get the Electoral Act, but they haven't read the Electoral Act, neither do they understand the principle behind the Electoral Act 2022. So the truth is, there's a lot of things that need to go in. By now, I expect people to be joining political parties, trying to galvanize support. If you are not doing that, 2027 has already been decided. You have to move towards 2031.
Okay.
Because the outcome is not going to change much.
Now, I'm going to take you back to where you started this conversation from. And then the question I asked was, what happens between every election cycle? 2027, 2031, 2035, and all of that. But you made a statement. You said 2027 had been decided 24 hours before 2023. Now, for a voter like me, I vote for the governor, and then the governor falls in line with the general election. It's not like my state would have off-cycle election. So I'm preparing that for the next maybe in the next 3 years and a month or thereabout. In the next 3 years, I will go and vote for the president again. But you just told me that the president had been decided, or the 2027 election had been decided. Can you break that down into the line where laymen like me can understand what you mean?
Let me help you. You actually gave me that weapon, so I'll tell you. We're still in 2023 when the G5 governors endorsed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's second term bid, right? And they're in an opposition party. You said that, right?
Yes.
Right. You said that. Well, that means 2027 has been decided. So look at it. If G5, the two former governors and the two sitting governors already think that, and then sitting APC governors already think that, where is the strength for you to install the governors that are necessary for you to win an election? I'll tell you something that I find critical. So I've been paying attention to the Edo, what's going on in Edo, the magic that's going on there, and I expected to see Peter Obi on ground, with the Labour Party's candidate.
That's only media Apata.
That's Apata, former NBA chairman. And the funny thing is, I haven't seen him. I've seen him retreat, but I've not seen him on ground. Now, if you look at the other parties, I can tell you that the APC and the PDP are going to swarm there with every governor that they have to ensure they win that election. So you can't come out and say, I don't have structure and I want to win an election. You're not ready. You are not ready. And I can tell you that if Peter Obi's involvement in the off-cycle elections are dismal, if he participates in the 2027 elections, he's going to perform far worse than he did in the 2023 elections. You can take that to the bank. It's the way Nigeria works. So you need to be able to participate. I'm just using him as an example. I have no offense to Labour Party or I'm non-aligned. Electoral College is non-partisan. I'm just using him to juxtapose. So like you said, what happens between 2023? How is it decided? So if you have the governors, you have the senators, you have the House of Reps, it's going to be hard to beat the president with that clout. Except you decide to go the APC route. If you go back into 2015, when entire opposition decided to consolidate and create the APC, the major ACN and CPC, major opposition, and they had governors already. Note that, mark that critical point. They had governors already. They had people in National Assembly already. So they consolidated their powers with I think 2 or 3 smaller parties, and they consolidated their powers and they took power from an incumbent, and that was what happened. So it is clear to state that we need to be ready to do things in this country if we're deciding to do something. Presidency of Nigeria, this is a country of 200 million. We're not a small country like, let's say, Madagascar, where you have a population of about less than Kaduna State. You can't say you're going to just run and then make things happen. It's not going to happen. You have to be able to win key states. You have to be able to swing key votes. You have to be, I would say you need the Senate and whatever. Even if you are going to plan an uprising against the norm, you need to be able to have at least 8 years to plan it. You can't say you're going to come out when they start selling forms and you want to be the change Nigeria. How is that possible? Nobody will even recognize your party logo. If anybody is conversant with what happened in 2019 when we had 92 political parties, nobody could recognize the logos of some parties. People barely. I remember someone who had his logo looking like the PDP ended up taking third. Yes, massive vote. Nobody even knew what the name of. I think till today nobody knows.
The name of the political parties, PDC.
PDC.
And they had about 170,000 votes.
Was massive, beating Pelad Road, likes of Pelad Road, Kingsley Mogalu, just because they look like something that people thought was something they wanted to vote for. So you need to be able to plan longer ahead. Nigerians need to begin to infiltrate political parties. I can tell you, the APC or the PDP are not bad political parties. They might have bad players, neither is Labour. They might have bad players, or the SDP or the ADC. They might have bad players, but it doesn't mean the political party is bad. So if you infiltrate it with enough good people, you'll be able to dictate its outcome. But are we ready to take it? Democracy takes a particular level of intelligence. I remember it was Socrates who didn't believe in democracy, and he clearly stated that why would we vote, let's say, he used an analogy of a captain of the ship. Why would we vote a captain of the ship when we're not even sure whether he can steer a ship? Or we vote him because he's popular and people like his face or they like his voice. And, he was arguing that democracy takes a lot more work than that. And it actually does. But the Nigerian people are not ready to do what it actually takes. Democracy is a conscious step. It's not going to happen if we do not take conscious steps. People are just complaining about the economy. The economy is going to get worse before it gets better. We've made a lot of mistakes. That's if they are following the right context. But now here's the question. Are we preparing for something better, or are we doing the same thing and expecting a different result? That's where the problem lies. So we need to start to think outside the box. We need to start to operate outside the box. We need to start to want to save this country. It's a technical decision. I'll give you an example. The people of Lagos State believe that APC has Lagos State. APC doesn't have Lagos State. Not because of what happened in the presidential election, but no party has a state according to the constitution. But then we proceed into strategy of politics. So you say APC has a state. I'll tell you, last local government elections held in Lagos State, the electoral college wanted to do debates, and I contacted chairman of political parties. And he said, no, we're not participating in the elections. APC has already won it. That is already accepting it. That's how APC wins the state. If they consolidate together and say we are taking all local government seats from the APC and PDP, Labour, SDP, ADC, NMPP, and every other person comes into play, everybody else comes into play, we're going to see a situation where, of course, basically, they are going to be able to upturn the APC. The APC is made of people. It's not made of fortified electoral misnomers. So it's just a party. It's nothing else. If you consolidate and create a vehicle that's bigger than it, it's going to swallow it up like the APC did in 2015. It's going to swallow. So no state actually belongs. And if you look at Cross River, that has now become an APC state after an election. Cross River was repeated. It's never lost Cross River, and it lost Cross River because it believing it couldn't lose Cross River. It had its gas full structure there. Cross River has never voted another party. Like it can't happen. You don't like Buhari, it can't happen, and it happened. So has anybody been ready to put in the work in Lagos State to salvage Lagos State? No. Local government election participation is less than 7% per local government in Lagos State. So less than 7% entirely. And you're looking at places like Alimosho that have 1.1 billion as park allocation. You're looking at Etiosa that has 2.6 billion in IGR per month and about 783 million per month in park allocation. That's making Etiosa about 3-something billion rich every month, and yet Etiosa has no pipe-borne water. They have interlocking tiles which they call roads. I find that very funny because I live in Abuja mainly. I still live in Abuja and Lagos. So I find what they call in Etiosa road a catway for donkeys. Anyway, but that aside, Lagos people, for me, are so interested in the president, Buhari, Tinubu. Have you faced your people? Have you faced the Ikeja and asked the local government chairman what they are doing with the funds given to them by FAC? Let's also remember that local government chairmen do not have immunity. According to the constitution, the only people that have immunity are deputy governors, and the president and the vice president. No other person has immunity. But, we like to call them honorable. I've seen so much respect for local government chairpeople in Lagos. I've traveled across Nigeria. I don't see that much. They're so honorable. For me, they're so honorable. The word honorable has lost its meaning. But anyway, not to dilly-dally on the local government. Let's go back into political strategy. So people have even, those are like in the case of Lagos State, they will tell you non-indigenous votes don't matter, or they try to suppress non-indigenous. You can only suppress votes when people don't come out to vote. You cannot suppress votes when everybody comes out to vote, because the people that are trying to suppress the votes, their fathers, mothers, and co are outside. So how can they suppress the vote? And besides, you can only rig an election where the election is already non-participatory. Everybody can participate and then you take an election. It's hard. If everybody is fully participatory, you cannot rig an election. So Nigerians complain about rigging of elections. It only occurs because you don't participate. You can only falter numbers when nobody is there. If everybody is there, who are you going to tell you scored 263 when you actually got 40? It's not possible. So Nigerians also do not understand that fact. And for me, Lagos is the most docile state politically in Nigeria. And here's my reason why. You have like one of the most viable places for business, and they do not understand that businesses are affected by policies of government. I don't think I've seen multiple taxation in the state more than I've seen in Lagos State, and citizens don't seem to care. Their own is let's just do Dorime every Friday and be happy. As Lagos. Lagos continue to be backward politically as it has always been.
Okay.
Sorry, that upsets me.
No. I'm actually going through documents now, and I'm seeing, how much, well, not official, but I'm seeing how much local government in Lagos, actually take home every month from the federation account. And I'm saying that some local government actually, plus the IGR and what comes in from the federation account are actually getting more than state like Zamfara. And it's interesting. Some local government in Lagos actually get more than states like Zamfara. Okay, now, if we take the conversion away from the national politics and come to the subnational politics, they say that every politics is local, whether at the local government, at the world level where we pick our councillors, local government where we pick our local government chairman, the state and all of that. I asked you a question the other time. I said, are we asking our legislators the right questions? A lot of us, often quickly pump the energy into the president is not doing enough. I understand that the bulk of the responsibility often rests on the table of Mr. President. But you look at what our governors have earned in the last 10 months. In fact, from the last 10 years, no administration had given out this much in federal allocation, and that was because of the removal of the subsidy. A lot of governors are getting as much as 45% of what they used to get before Tinubu came on board. Before President Tinubu came on board. Now, as someone that relates to the people at the grassroots, by the virtue of what you do, what do you think the people should do? The gulf of class between the governed and the government is getting large by the day. People don't have access to their legislators. They don't have access to their governors. Most of these institutions don't even make provision for feedback mechanism. What should we do at this point? How do we reach out to these people to ask the right questions?
No, I think that is a Nigerian problem. But those are, and for us, we think what we do is allow them in, wait for the next 4 years, and then maybe we try to get them out. That's a stupid way of looking at democracy. There's no accountability. So I'm yet to see. There was a recall process that was in Lagos, I think sometime shortly after NSAS. I can't remember, the place was in, I think, Alimosho, a woman. And I remember when the process started and they got about 5,000 signatures. She started coming to the constituency office, started lobbying people, and the people gave up. You see, so you take action, some things will never happen at State House of Assembly. Let me be honest with you. If you go back to Greece, where democracy started, the foundation of democracy is the legislative. If the legislative fails, then you are failed. That's why at national level, we have quite a dull legislative, which gives the executive massive power. At state level, governors have kidnapped the legislative, kidnapped the local government that is the first handshake of democracy to the people, and kidnapped the state judiciary. And you people, in your immaculate wisdom as Nigerians, want to guarantee them state police. You guys joke a lot in Nigeria. Anyway, so by the time you grant them state police, you are going. I can't even imagine people talking to governors. And, that therein lies the problem. So we've always been taught to discuss president. The Electoral College, as you've seen, puts out back allocations from different states. I've been queried by essays to governors. I've been told I'll never advance in politics because of what I'm doing, which is dull, because at least I've gathered more votes than the people talking to me. And I've looked at it and I've thought, we refuse to decentralize democracy in Nigeria. I feel we're still living in a military regime where you just talk about the president alone. Governors, like you rightly said, have received 30-35% more than. But I don't know how governors have been able to hoodwink the electorate that all they want to talk about is the president. And I've also had conversations on media channels, and I've told them, why do you guys discuss president, Abuja? Abuja is not your business. The first handshake of democracy to the people is the local government. If local government is kidnapped, there is no how democracy is going to be good, no matter what policies President Bola Ahmed Tinubu comes up with. If the local government is dysfunctional, you cannot have the dividends of democracy. I don't understand how in Nigeria a local government chairman as Algon was more functional under the military rule than it is under democracy. It's a great anomaly. At least the military knew there was need for it. If I remember, some people would have been young then, but the first cars police ever got that looked flashy was given to them by Algon. Water was coming from taps, Algon. Local dispensaries, the earlier schools. Where are the earlier schools now? I don't know of one that exists. And it's a big question. Primary healthcare centers have gone defunct. You can't see anything past iodine or GV and cotton wool. That's all. And before, primary healthcare centers did everything. I remember meningitis shots, all those things. I took them as a young boy in primary healthcare centers. So what are you talking about? So and if you interview maybe say people in the legislative at state level, let's say Lagos State or whatever, if you ask them, what bill have you come up with? Say, my people can call me. Your people can call you. That's not a function of democracy. The job is executive oversight and amendment of laws. Now, how many of Lagos laws have actually, I would say Lagos tried, but how many of Lagos laws have actually been implemented? And how many national laws has Lagos allowed? The FOI bill is not allowed in Lagos. I'm right. It's not if I'm right. It's not allowed in Lagos. So no freedom of information. You can't query the government. You can't query what they're spending money on. That you can't request for that information. At that point, the government is already telling you they're going to be totalitarian. That's simple.
Okay. Now that you've actually, brought in the conversation around state police, in the last 2 weeks, let me put it back a bit. In the last few years, the conversation around state police, domesticating the police structure, letting the state own their police, letting the community police themselves, had been around the table. But more than ever, the last few months have really brought back the conversation around state police. The body language of Mr. President tilts towards, buying into the conversation around state police. The governor of Oyo State, Governor 𝐶𝐶 come out to say that it's time for the state police to be established. Governors in Kaduna State had also come out to talk about it. However, the governor of Niger State, Governor Umar Bago, had come out to say that he's going to lead to tyranny. And a lot of people have argued. I have a lawyer friend, Barrister Adams Atta. He says, we'd had that conversation, and he says that all of the cons outweighs the pros. That means the disadvantages are way more than the advantages. And I'm going to ask you, I've also heard a lot of people argue that if the police is not domesticated, we're not going to see an end to all of these problems that we are facing. What's your take about the state police, the establishment of it, the funding of it, the constitutionality of it, and more than ever, the neutrality of state police? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, exactly. There's no country as large as ours that does not have a local government police. You watch movies, you hear sheriff. Sheriff is in a county. A county is a local government. How do you build a house and then you first put the roof, which is federal police, then you put the decking, which is state police, then there's no foundation. We cannot police this country if we do not have local government police. At least 1,000 in every local government. That will give us 774,000 new policemen. That's almost 3 times the size of the police force we have present. So we can't be discussing state police. Governors want to use them as tools. I don't see how they will be functional. The Constitution clearly provides security to local government and to state government. Why are we conversing on one level? So for me, if we want to make it across board and we say we want to, if we want to give them state police, we must first give local government police, state police, then federal police. Then we can see policing on a whole new level. And who even said some states can afford this state police? These state governors that are not paying salaries, and you want to do not paying a state police officer who is armed in a state. I don't need to tell you what may or happen. And you know, we've used to discuss this, but what I'm most scared of is that the emperors of state that you call state governors will have so much power because they control the legislative, the judiciary, the local government, and then you want to grant them state police. It's over. It's no more a democracy in state. Yeah, so for me, the conversation of state police is not even open. I'm totally against the position of state police without local government police. If we build the foundation of local government police, yeah, we can proceed to state police, no problem. But that we'll do state police first, I do not agree. I vehemently agree with state police.
Okay, I mean, it's interesting, by the way, because you look at the composition of the police force at the moment. We have less than 400,000 officers, and they're saddled with the responsibility of protecting almost 230 million people.
Wait. And let me correct it. We have 400,000. 50% of them are guarding VIPs and vital assets. Nigeria actually has 200,000.
I was going to that. And even the ones that are not guarding the VIPs, if you're driving into Lagos from Chagamu bypass, you see them on both sides of the bridge looking for trucks to escort into Lagos, and you ask yourself, how did we get to this point where the people that we actually pushed to agitate for? By the way, I'm sure a lot of people often fail to forget that the NSAS protest was not just about ending police brutality. It was even more of agitating for proper welfare for the Nigerian police, because I remember I did something with an agency then, and went to the police college. We looked at the housing, how the policemen are living, the deplorable condition, the condition that the police staff school was as at that time, but they had gotten some decent facelifts now and all of that as a follow-up that I did recently. But well, maybe at some point, Nigerians will come to understand that the government needs to do really much more. Now, in about 2 minutes, before we take a quick break to take the headline news, and I want to beg you, that I would like to keep you on the line. One would come back so that I know a lot of people would call and ask questions, and I would want you to be on standby where I would take those questions. But that will be on the turn of 5 o'clock after the news and when we pay some bills. But in about 2 minutes, let's talk about the challenges of the security challenges that we're facing at the moment. And it beats my imagination that in a country that we pride ourselves in this kind of democracy, we assign challenges of this nature to regions. I remember a couple of years back when I was still up north, and when this whole issue started, they would tell you that, it's a northeast situation. When I come down south, people will be like, how are you people doing over there? How are you dealing with your security challenges? This northeast, northwest, from there it moved to north central. Now, traditional rulers are being killed in Ekiti. Primary school pupils are being kidnapped in Ekiti. There are pocket reports of kidnaps here and there, even in the southwest zone. Did we miss this conversation of nipping insecurity in the mud at the very early age, Kunle?
Yes, we did. I think there's something we missed. So I served in government in 2011, coming down towards 2012. And there was a security report then, it's not classified now, security report that if Nigeria did not secure its borders, the issues happening in sub-Saharan Africa, if you remember, that was the time of Libya, Chad was under unrest, Niger itself was under unrest, there was massive trickling. So they were all trickling into Nigeria. So if we didn't secure our borders, these people would come in. And we thought it was a joke. So it started in northeast, started also in northwest, and then moved across and started coming down and trickling into Nigeria. We took it as a joke, and we forgot these things trickle down. We're one country. And of course, when they've taken from here, why can't we take from here? And then they keep expanding. And in the end, we have quite a serious security problem between us. I would also say nobody should think Nigerians are not culpable, because there are massive reports that even in political feuds, in tribal feuds, We have hired some of these guys to fight our own war. So we have to pay the price for being a very disrespectful country and undermining Nigeria's sovereignty.
Okay. I would have to let you go now, and I would certainly call you back in the next couple of minutes. Thank you very much, Mr. Kunle. But I'm not going to say goodbye yet, because I'll soon bring you back after the headline news and when I'm done paying some bills.
Okay.
All right. Well, I've been speaking with Mr. Kunle Lawal, the executive director. He doesn't like when they call him Mr. He says, my name is KL for short. He's the executive director of Electoral College Nigeria. Of course, you've heard the name. The college basically, take young people especially. Of course, they have peeps with political elites, talk about the process of picking our leaders. And you may have to check them out, by the way. We've talked about issues, talked about the security challenges that we're facing at the moment in this country. We've talked about, taking the conversation away from the national politics and talking about subnationals. How much have you asked? How many times have you asked your local government chairman what they do with the allocation from the federation account? How many times have you asked your governors what they do with the allocation from the federation account? I mean, going through one local government in Lagos now, I just figured out that some local government in Lagos plus the IG and what they get from the federation account, they get way more than some states in the north in this same country. So you ask yourself, all of this money is coming in with the removal of subsidy, just like Comrade Steve Aloku said yesterday, that the governors should be ashamed of themselves that they decided to collect monies that have been taken away from the larger population to deal with the smaller population. We'll be back on the turn of 5 o'clock. We'll take the headline news by 5. We'll also pay some bills, and I'll put Kunle Lawal back, and then we'll open the phone lines. You're live on Mainland 98.3 FM, and this is the situation. I'll be right back on the turn of 5 o'clock. Don't go nowhere.
Mainland 98.3 FM. Don't touch the dial. 98.3 FM. Don't touch the dial.
Headline news on 98.3 Mainland FM.
Good evening. Months over budget tinkering allegations. Gumi says Tinubu's permission during the Ramadan fast. Tinubu submits FCTA 2024 budget to reps, seeks speedy consideration. World Trade Organization Haitian Prime Minister resigns amid. That's the headline news on Mainland FM. Details at 5:30.
The drama, the suspense, the emotions, the gang moments. Don't miss out on Nollywood movies and web series on YouTube with the YouTube buffet plan from MTN. You can enjoy over 10 hours of Nollywood content made for you. Sharply dial *312*800# to activate the YouTube buffet plan from MTN and start enjoying YouTube made for you.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call 0700-225-5226, 0800-225-5226, or +234-817-665-6273. Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
Wait, isn't that an Alte jam?
Yeah, it enter, Abi.
Wait, why did you start jamming Alte? What happened to Afro depression? Like, who put you on?
Oh yeah, dial Sophie's number. Now that's who put me on.
Share your vibe with Hello Tunes from Airtel. Dial *790# to enjoy free trial and pay later.
Airtel, a reason to imagine. My country people, travel lottery don't come oh. Sure you don't hear of Japa Fly? Oh yeah, make a gist you. Japa Fly, na lottery company we go help you achieve that your dream vacation for that your dream location with small shekeli money of 1,500 or 5,000 naira. You don't stand chance to qualify. Whether you single, you get babe or get bubble or can't even get family. Japa Fly get a better package for you oh. As you don't get this information, just imagine yourself for Dubai. As you dey sip wine, they enjoy yourself. Open your eye, make you sharply colors to Japa Rice. We go help you bring that dream come reality. Oya colors on 090-9000-0888. You fit send email play@japafly.com. You fit also visit our website www.japafly.com. You must be 18 and above to follow join play. Make una play responsible. Terms and conditions apply. Japafly.com. Play and fly.
The drama, the suspense, the emotions, the gang moments. Don't miss out on Nollywood movies and web series on YouTube with the YouTube buffet plan from MTN. You can enjoy over 10 hours of Nollywood content made for you. Sharply dial *312*800# to activate the YouTube buffet plan from MTN and start enjoying YouTube made for you.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call 0700-225-5226, 0800-225-5226 or +234-817-665-6273. Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
Attention, Airtel customers. If your line has been blocked, then this is for you. Head to the nearest Airtel shop with your NIN. Our friendly staff will help you get your line back up and running. Don't let a blocked line keep you out of touch.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call 0700-225-5226, 0800-225-5226 or +234-817-665-6273. Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
My son, help me check this phone. I no know wetin junior press. E no dey work again.
Make I see. Mommy.
Wetin happen?
They don't block your line now.
Nobody like to chop blocking o. So if they don't block you unto say you not link your NIN to your Airtel line, run kitikiti go any Airtel shop with your NIN to unblock your line today.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Broadcast Art Institute Supplementary Admissions 2023-2024. Few vacancies exist in the Department of Broadcast Journalism and Multimedia Technology for admission in the 2023-2024 session. If you scored 100 and above in the 2023-2024 UTME, together with 5 relevant credits, but have not gained admission, you can change over to the Broadcast Art Institute, Lagos, for National Diploma in Broadcast Journalism and Multimedia Technology. The Broadcast Art Institute is accredited by the National Board for Technical Education (NBTE) to offer national diploma programs in broadcast journalism and multimedia technology. You can visit our campus at number 38 Odofi Street, Ibubu, Ikorodu, Lagos, or call the following numbers: 0806 149 9992 or 0703 713 1166 or 0816 587 1415.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call 0700 225 5226, 0800 225 5226, or +234 817 665 6273. Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
Wait, isn't that an Alte jam?
Yeah, it enter, Abi.
Wait, oh, when did you start jamming Alte? What happened to Afro depression? Like, who put you on?
Oh yeah, dial Sophie's number. Now that's who put me on.
Share your vibe with HelloTunes from Airtel. Dial *790# to enjoy free trial and pay later.
Airtel, a reason to imagine. My country people, travel lottery don't come oh. Shey you don't hear of Japa Fly? Oya make I gist you. Japa Fly na lottery company we go help you achieve that your dream vacation for that your dream location with small shikini money of 1,500 or 5,000 naira. You don't stand chance to qualify. Whether you single, you get babe or get bubble or can't even get family. Japa Fly get a better package for you all. As you don't get this informate, just imagine yourself for Dubai. As you dey sip wine, they enjoy yourself. Open your eye, make you sharply colors to Japa Rise. We go help you bring that dream come reality. Oya colors on 090-9000-0888. You fit send email play@japafly.com. You fit also visit our website www.japafly.com. You must be 18 and above to follow join play. Make una play responsible. Terms and conditions apply. Japafly.com. Play and fly.
The drama, the suspense, the emotions, the gang moments. Don't miss out on Nollywood movies and web series on YouTube with the YouTube buffet plan from MTN. You can enjoy over 10 hours of Nollywood content made for you. Sharply dial *312*800# to activate the YouTube buffet plan from MTN and start enjoying YouTube made for you.
Fantastic conversations. Great to see you again. It's good weather. You want to agree with that?
Of Electoral College Nigeria, Mr. Kunle Lawal, for being very. Don't forget that by 5:30 the full bulletin would come through, and by 6 o'clock would come back. Our stage of the AFL Champions League today for the forward to is looking forward to the return a long time ago. So I'm sure let's get back to what we're talking about. Well, I would have to open the conversation up now and allow you to call in. While we were away, the phone lines have been buzzing, and so let's get straight up into the conversation. My guest, Mr. Kunle Lawal, will be on standby, listen to our questions or whatever we have to say, and I will call it a day on the show together. Remember, we're still streaming live on all our social media platforms. Facebook.com/mainland 98.3 FM. On X, formerly Twitter, it's mainland FM. On Instagram and YouTube, it's mainland 98.3 FM. So it's time for us to talk. 091-3600-0410. Hello, good evening. Hello. Hello, good evening.
Hello. Yeah, good evening, sir.
Okay, your name and what you're joining us from?
Collins on the line.
Okay, Mr. Collins, good to have you.
Collins on the line.
Okay.
But we know what the problem is, and we also know the solution. And the thing is, I don't believe in blaming the people for this electoral process or whatever it is. The people are not to be blamed. If it's the haters of democracy, those are the people that truncate the democratic process. You see, the last election, INEC became a player. We all went out. People had faith that, okay, this time around, the electoral system will be fine. And I think somewhere in November or thereabouts, there was an accusation on INEC that they were not going to transmit. But they came out to debunk it. But later, what happened? So these are the problems. We know what the problem is. Okay, look at the off-cycle election in Korea and all of that. The result was already out before the stuff. So we already know what the problem is. The haters of democracy, people who just want to make merchandise of the whole thing, they are just there. So the man in the studio, the man you are calling, he knows too. So it's not the people. I don't really like when people blame the people. And this thing that they did in that last election will now make the people not to want to come out again for any election. Just look at it that, okay, we are still back to the old days. You see? So this is the problem. And for security, I think we don't need state police. I used to think that state police should be a problem. What would they do? But the thing is, I believe there is a crack in the military. If that crack can be fixed, then we are good to go. I strongly believe there is a crack in the military, because if everything is okay with the military, who are these guys? Who are they? The military will get there. You know, sometimes you hear that something will happen for 3 hours and the military will not be there. And the military, they have the guns. They have everything to challenge these people. Police cannot challenge them. Let alone state police.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Collins.
For me, that's just it.
Thank you very much. 091-3600-0410. My guest, I'm sure, is noting. I would also go on our social media platforms on YouTube and Facebook to read your comments, and then we'll call it a day by 5:30. Hello, good evening.
How are you, OPEYEMI?
Ambassador Musbao, I'm glad to have you today. You're welcome.
Dr. Kunle, good day to you. Yeah, spoke well. OPEYEMI, look, the last time I said people are not to blame. People are to blame. It's a sample of people to blame. Look, when people talk about kindness, election has come and gone. Supposedly, you don't feel that everything is all right, but the court has decided, why can't we put our pieces together? It happened, even in America. I could remember when Al Gore and George Bush. People compare, George Bush did not win, it is Al Gore. But after the Supreme Court and the fight, they move on. They do the needful. Even though the president, Donald Trump and Biden now, just 75 million to 72 million. Look at the white magic. But people still continue, even the Donald Trump believe that he won the election. But look at America move forward. We focus on their candidate. Shoot, the local government chairman. Ask every one of us who know their local government chairman, who know their councilor. We don't know, people don't know. And we need to focus. It's up election. Now, what can we focus on the people we elected there now? How to make them function? How to ask them questions? How to put them at home? Even a close panel and plug into the engine. They don't need to do that. Let us come at us and say, wow. Let us focus on how do we put our electoral officers on their toes. Local government chairman, I have a question. How do you spend your money? What kind of project are you embarking? We can do it, but we are so lazy. We know it's matter waiting of time. We look for a magician to fix it for us. If I'm waiting for a magician to fix it for us, the Jesus Christ come. This is how it's going to be. Not for the good morning.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Musbao. I really don't pray things continue this way, because there's a stretch to which Nigerians will take. Well, I'll have to take my response of my guest, but let me pick more calls. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Pastor Ambrose,
how are you?
You're welcome. I'm good. And you?
Seriously, because I don't have to miss your program. I don't know who is your guest.
Oh.
But I know you said it's an Arsenal fan. And I didn't listen.
My guest is Mr. Kunle Lawal. He's the Executive Director of Electoral College Nigeria, a one-time senatorial candidate.
It's my colleague. We are all Arsenal fans together. Good evening, Arsenal fan.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Okay.
YG. I don't know why AME kept mentioning 40 years we have not been to the quarterfinal. I just left him. Just
leave them. They are beating us.
No,
they have not been able to beat it too.
The elephant is back on the tree. The elephant is back on the tree.
Yes. Back to business. You see, the last caller, my friend, is always saying federal government. He's my friend. I give the local government, they are owing me 6 million. Why give the chairman pay? He's telling me that he will not pay. So nobody, they are not accountable to anybody. As I'm talking to you, they are not accountable to they don't see anybody. The local government chairman is the managing director, chief executive. Even the vice chairman cannot challenge him. The councillors, they are afraid of him. Everybody in Agege local government, they are afraid of him. That is how they are employed in their various local government. Then you now go to state government. The same thing. Federal government, you are telling them they should be accountable. Who is going to hold them accountable? Who do you want to report them to? So, Ambassador Musbao should stop saying that. Because he says he knows the system. He knows.
Sir, let me bust in here. Yes, during my conversation, I stated that local government chairmen do not have immunity. You don't need to sue them in Lagos. They will probably win the case. Carry the case to Abuja and sue Agege local government chairman. He will go to jail. He doesn't have any immunity. I don't even know why people call them honorable. There's nothing honorable about them. They don't have any immunity. They don't have any power.
Proud people and all of that. So, thank you for your advice, and I will take to it. Away from that,
I'll tell you what to do. Carry the case to FCT Abuja.
Okwe is my friend. I will contact you through Okwe. Don't worry.
Carry the case to FCT. Sue him. Copy NFIU. Copy EFCC. You will know what. You will know what is going on.
Thank you very much. So, Okwe, this problem we are talking, guys, nobody is accountable to anybody. And my friend Ambassador Dumu, he knows this. He is very aware of it. You know, sometimes what we say on radio is different from what we say behind. That's the problem we have. When we come on radio, we want to, say things to tell us. But behind, we are saying something else. These people, they have become so clear that nobody can talk to them. And Nigeria, like I said, I don't know the topic. Nigeria, as we speak today, until these people become accountable, I agree. Federal, state, local government. But do you know that what the federal government is getting is 54% of the federal allocation? 54%.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor Ambrose. Thank you.
They have 46%. What do you expect them to use it to do?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Pastor Ambrose. I'm sure we'll link up after the show. Let's see what we work on with the advice that my guest just gave. Okay. 0913600410 in case you're just tuning in. I must admit that you've missed a lot, but I can pick more calls here. Hello, good evening.
This is Olaiwola.
You're welcome, Mr. Olaiwola.
Yes. I want to make your guest talk about the constitutional aspect. We are electing a president because of the constitution. And that same constitution also give a national assembly to adopt any budget that is presented for them in terms of finance, and they have that constitution also gives them a power to increase it. That is why the former speaker, Dugara, said the budget body is not a sin or criminal, but is the law. But at this moment now, my question is that your guest now, if it is National Assembly are increasing this budget, if they're defending it before the executive arm of government, or they just increasing it without defending it before the executive arm of government, they just increase it without defending it. This is the issue we are come from. If the power has been given to them to increase or to reduce, and if they increase it on their wisdom, if they are as if they're going back to go and defend it in the first meeting, or they just increase it and without depending on it before the executive arm of government. This is my question. This is where the competition comes from.
Thank you very much. Well, I won't be able to pick more calls. I will really press for time. I'll allow my guests to respond. I know the calls are still coming in, but I'll allow my guests to respond. But let me also quickly read some messages here. Please, with all due respect to your guest, we should know that there's nothing we would say against the formation of the state policing system in terms of abuse that the government is not currently practicing. And very importantly, the current insecurity challenges can only be tamed and stopped through the use of state police. Leo Ozoma from Isolo, Lagos. Okay, I'm reading from Facebook. Michael Oria says, APC won Cross River governorship election because of the defection of Professor Ben Ayade. The LG chairman defected alongside with the governor. The governor used the state resources to buy votes, suppress, intimidate, and manipulate the electoral process with hunger, poverty, suffering in the land. Most people in the opposition would defect to the ruling party. Okay, thank you. Prince Leo Zuma is still talking. He said, I personally do not look up positively to what good the current crops of politicians will bring to the table of development in Nigeria, because I know the antecedents. May God help Nigerians, and I hope and pray that God helps as well. Mr. Kunle, we have about 2 minutes to wrap up the conversation today. What are you leaving out with? Your parting shots.
Okay, executive oversight is a function of the legislative. If they increase a budget, they must do it in front of, tell the Nigerian people they've increased so here, increased so here, not anything entering personal pockets. That's the job of those things. Now, I've heard people make conversations, not the people, it's not, whether you like it or not, whoever is committing electoral atrocities is also a Nigerian. So it's a people problem. Remains a people problem. Whether the person is in power or not is a Nigerian first. So it's a people problem. Now, what I'm going to say is that Nigerians should learn to understand that what is key for a democracy can never survive with politically illiterate people. We must understand our laws. We must understand where it is headed. If not, we are doomed for the end in a democracy. And, you know, for the person that spoke about Cross River, I'd like to answer him. Now, his assumption is that, yes, the Governor Ben Ayade, former governor of Cross River, used intimidation, used police, used whatever. Great argument. But Ben Ayade lost his senatorial bid in his constituency. There was no police to use. Let's discuss, you know, this intellect and not. If I remember, Labour Party virtually presidentially almost took over Cross River State. And Labour Party won some, I think, a seat in the National Assembly, in the House of Reps, yes, in the South, yes, they did. So you can't say they intimidated, you can't use that kind of language. You might say, yeah, there were pockets of issues, but if Ben Ayade could not win his own senatorial constituency, that says a lot about him controlling the state. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. And yet again, I want to wish you well at the Electoral College Nigeria. We'll also use this platform, you know, to sell the message of good governance and quality leadership. Big shout out to all of you guys on the other side.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Well, that was Kunle Lawal, the Executive Director of the Electoral College Nigeria. And we've had a very big conversation, and from 4 p.m. till now. Well, let me quickly read a couple of more messages before we say our goodbyes. Well, this one is from Akonji Benjamin Tadi, and it says, I heard this morning that the bandits are demanding for 40 trillion ransom and 150 Hilux vehicles. Is it true? Well, I heard the same way you did. Case Holy says, why on earth would you suspend someone when the matter has not been investigated? In democracy, in other countries, the matter will be investigated, but in Nigeria, they're suspending the whistleblower. Where on earth do they do that? Suspending the Senator Ningi so that everything will not be exposed. Okay. Well, thank you so much for everyone that made this session an amazing one. In the next couple of seconds, the full bulletin will come through, and by 6 o'clock, we'll be back for Sport Cruise on Mainland 98.3 FM. Don't forget to keep the conversation going on all our social media platforms. Follow us so that I can get our notifications by the second. My name is OPEYEMI. A big shout out to Kunle Lawal for joining me on the show today. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock, I will be back for midweek politics, and then you join Sage Babalola by 4 o'clock for the situation. Have a very good evening. Keep it locked on Mainland 98.3 FM. We are the sound of Lagos.